I finished, and so he's got to be feeling good, right? He thinks I found the source of the Mississippi River, mission accomplished. So we've done this close reader habit, and that should help us with whatever task it's asking us to do next. So flip the page, so page 237, and you'll see this. An organizer, just like we completed in video 1 of this lesson. Complete this point of view organizer by identifying the topic of the accounts. Okay, what was the topic? There goes my video, y'all. Oh dear. All right, so there goes. So my topic. Okay, what was the topic? What were they talking about? Well, they were talking about this guy, Zebulon Pike. He was trying to find the source of the Mississippi. Okay, so I would probably write something like that here underneath topic. I would say this is about Zebulon Pike trying to find the source of the Mississippi River. Okay, if you need to replay that, pause the video, write it down, go ahead and do that. Okay, but we're going to keep moving. So that's my topic. And then details about George Chester's point of view, details about Zebulon Pike's point of view. So that's where my close reader habits comes in really handy, because basically I'm going to go and copy what I underlined from this one. This one was George Chester. It's going to be his point of view because he's telling about it. So what I underlined there would go here. And then what I underlined from this section, because that's written by Zebulon Pike, it's from his journal, that's going to tell me details about his point of view. Okay? Pause the video, fill that in, and then we're going to talk about this section down here, number 2. Okay? So after you've unpaused and filled in your organizer, let's look at this. It says talk. Analyze the point of view each author expresses about Pike's expedition. What information did Chester include that Pike did not? So let's focus on that question. What information did George Chester include that Pike did not? Take a second and think about that. What did we write down here? What's the information he gave that Zebulon Pike did not? Right? From what you copied, you should be able to see that George Chester tells us that, hey, his mission was actually a failure, right? Because he has information, because he's writing this many years later. He's writing maybe for a history magazine or something, this piece right here. But this, Zebulon Pike wrote it on that day. He wrote, this particular section on February 1st. And so he doesn't know that he is a failure. He thinks he found it, right? He's thought it was, right? He thought he had found the source of the Mississippi, but he had not. So that information is in George Chester's, hey, that he failed, that is not in Zebulon Pike's, okay? What is similar and different in the accounts? We just answered that. And so you could make a note here, but mainly I'm concerned that you're watching this and thinking about it with me. Okay, so the last part down at the bottom, number 3, compare and contrast each account's point of view about Zebulon Pike's expedition. Use details from both accounts in your response. Use the space provided on page 242 to write your answer. So if you flip there, find it 238. Okay, here we go. So you see the titles match, and it wants us to compare and contrast. So I would use race to answer this. I would use words from the questions. For instance, let's see. One similarity that Chester and Pike have in common is that their point of view describes how difficult the expedition was. That would probably be my thing that's the same, because they both talked about it being hard, even though they described it differently. So if you want to use that, you can. And then what you would need to add on your own is to say, in addition, or secondly, transition word, something that's different about these points of view is, right? And then you can use what we talked about in number 2 to help you answer that, right? So we talked about how they're different, and you could use that in your answer. All right, so you're going to be asked to do some similar things, to do some similar writing in the other parts of your packet.